joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Nicole Hernandez. Cody Proctor is off tonight, so let's get started. Now, just about an hour ago, Vista sent an email asking customers in Idaho and Washington to conserve their natural gas for the next 24 hours. They say they're having a mechanical issue with a natural gas provider. This, of course, is happening, though, in the middle of a huge cold snap for the inland Northwest. Vista says the gas is not damaged and it is still safe for people to use their gas, but they are still asking everyone to set their thermostats at a lower temperature and try to use less hot water if you can for now. We did call Vista to ask for more information on this, and they say they'll give us more details in the morning. We've, of course, all been dealing with these dangerously freezing cold temperatures today. So our meteorologist Michelle Boss is in the Weather Center right now. Michelle, how long are we going to be dealing with this cold weather?
Okay, at least this weekend. We do have a gradual warming trend in the extended forecast, but for sure this weekend we're really going to be seeing the coldest temperatures of the season. There is a small upside to this, and that is there was a lot of sunshine today, and we will see more of that this weekend. Satellite and radar showing no precipitation across the inland Northwest right now. Clear skies, of course, that contributes to some pretty chilly temperatures overnight without the blanket of clouds, and we do have wind chill warnings over the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area, wind chill advisories elsewhere, and you can just see there that wind chills across the region are going to be anywhere from 15 below to as cold as 40 and 50 below, the coldest as you get into northwest Montana. Here's a look at our current temperatures, and those are enough to catch your attention. 6 below in Spokane, 21 below. This is the air temperature in Deer Park, 12 below in Coeur d'Alene, and single-digit below zero temperatures across central Washington. Just a little bit of wind out there, thankfully, but it doesn't take much to send those wind chills from negative 15 to negative 30. Right now in Deer Park, 30 below zero for wind chill, nearly 20 below in Spokane. Otherwise, quiet and chilly weather overnight. We're expecting a low anywhere between -8 and -11. The record low is 13 below, so we'll be pretty close to that. High temperatures in the single digits for Saturday and Sunday, but again, we'll be enjoying some sunshine.
Man, Michelle, it is just cold out there. If you do need a place to go to get out of the cold, though, the city of Spokane has a few options for you. They've added almost 200 beds to the Trent shelter, and they're working on reopening the Cannon Street shelter as well. So that would mean even more beds if they get that done. But first, they have to finalize the deal with Compassionate Addiction Services. The city is able to do this because Lisa Brown issued a state of emergency for Spokane for the next 7 days. Being in this state of emergency, though, will cost the city $29,000. The Spokane Public Libraries will also, of course, be open during their regular business hours as a place for people to get out of that cold weather. Libraries are open from 9 to 7 Monday through Thursday, 10 to 5 on Friday and Saturday, and noon to 4 on Sundays. Monday is a holiday, but some libraries will still be open because of these cold temperatures. The Central, Shadle Park, Liberty Park, and Hilliard libraries will all be open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. The South Hill, though, Indian Trail, and the Hive will be closed on Monday. During this cold weather, it is important to know the symptoms of hypothermia as well. So if you're lethargic or confused, those are some of the early signs your body could be too cold. If your body temperature reaches anything below 95 degrees, that also is a big sign.
So if you have flexible weekend plans, maybe consider canceling them, especially if they involve going outside. If you're going to go outside, gloves, a hat, those kind of things are really important for protecting your extremities. Frostbite can happen, especially in the fingers and toes.
So to avoid this, doctors say you should avoid being out in the cold for long periods of time and wear as many layers as is comfortable for you. We now know who was buried in a deadly avalanche near Stevens Peak last night. The Shoshone County Sheriff's Office says deputies rescued Landon Crescelius and David Sitzer. Crews found them late last night by using a GPS transmitting device. The two men walked 2 to 3 miles to meet the rescuers, one of them with a broken arm. After talking to the two who survived, the rescue crew decided Corey J. Zalewski had died. Crews recovered his body earlier today. At noon tonight, local artists are trying to solve a mystery outside the Spokane Arena where someone stole a leg from a bronze sculpture. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk reports.
So it becomes more abstract as you come up.
These bronze sculptures convey motion, but they haven't moved a muscle since 1995, when they were installed by artist Philip Levine outside the Spokane Arena. The bronze cast piece is called Leap, and now a very important piece of it is missing.
The leg that's missing was hooked onto the ground right here.
Karen Mobley is an artist and art consultant. She's worked with the Public Facilities District before. Now she's trying to help them find the amputated leg.
If you just see the one leg, the springs don't totally make sense.
The piece went missing around Wednesday. That's when Karen got a call from the arena. She has her own theory.
After a game, after a concert, people are horsing around, and who knows if they really tried to steal it or if they were horsing around and they accidentally broke it. Although it's bronze, it's pretty hard to break.
Whatever the case may be, Mobley says she doesn't care. She just wants the leg returned. Philip Levine, the artist behind Leap, died a few years ago, and replacing the leg would be difficult and expensive.
It's not going to have any value to you, and it would be great if we could get it back and we didn't spend community resources trying to repair the sculpture.
The Public Facilities District has also reached out to local recyclers in case someone tries to scrap the piece. Mobley wants the Spokane community to keep an eye out for this recognizable piece of art.
It's one of the most popular pieces, I think, in the community's public art collection. It is both about athletes, which of course many of us love, the people who do the sports in the arena. It has a bit of a sense of humor.
Mobley says she's hopeful the leg will find its way back to the Spokane arena.
Optimistic.
In Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
The woman accused of stabbing a man to death in Spokane's Rochester Heights Park back in July of 2022 pleaded guilty to second-degree murder this afternoon. 32-year-old Rose Sedin could have gotten up to life in prison for killing 53-year-old James Clark. Police say she murdered him in the middle of the day, and a nearby security camera caught it on camera. Prosecutors asked the judge, though, to give Sedin a smaller sentence since she pleaded guilty. She ended up with 12 years, which is the low end of normal based on her prior criminal history.
And so the court is going to accept that recommendation and sentence Ms. Sedin to 144 months.
With credit for time served, Sedin will be free in 10.5 years. She told the court she wanted to take responsibility for her actions. Now tonight, a quick look at the day's top stories. New tonight, the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to hear a case about Starbucks firing several pro-union workers. Starbucks let the 7 workers go in February of 2022. They had helped form a union at the store in Memphis, Tennessee. The National Labor Review Board asked a court to rule that Starbucks wrongfully fired the employees. The judge agreed and said Starbucks had to rehire them. Starbucks, though, appealed that decision, which is why now the Supreme Court is taking on this case. Oregon's short legislative session is starting the first week of February, and House Republicans are already starting to try and reform Measure 110. The bill would make drug possession a misdemeanor again, even in small amounts. The law would also mandate drug treatment for some offenders in order to avoid jail time. To handle the influx of drug users, the proposal would use lottery money to build new treatment centers.
That's the next phase of our conversations. Is what is it going to take? What facilities are already out there? And then and look at that as a holistic approach for the state.
Many Democratic leaders are still feeling the pressure to reform this measure. The Joint Interim Committee on Addiction says it's trying to find ways to improve the law, but it still doesn't know exactly what those changes might be. A law similar to the one in Oregon lawmakers are trying to pass already actually exists here in Washington state. As of last year, possession of a controlled or counterfeit substance is a gross misdemeanor, punishable by up to 180 days in jail for the first 2 convictions, a $1,000 fine, or even both. Those charged with possession may also agree to be part of a treatment program in exchange for the state dismissing the charge. That was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of those stories, you can head over to our website, krem.com. So a Spokane Valley mom was speechless this afternoon when coworkers and the Spokane quarantine surprised her with a brand new car. Take a look at this. Leah Ray Jackson is a medical assistant at the Native Project. The mother of 4 does not have, or did not have, I guess, a reliable car and had relied on Spokane Transit to get her kids to school and herself to work every single day. In just one day, Rick Clark and the Spokane quarantine raised enough money to buy Jackson and her family a van.
Lots of stuff on your plate, right? But the one thing everybody says about you is that you show up to work every day with a smile. And so I asked my friends on Facebook, I've got about 35,000 friends on Facebook, and they helped us raise enough money in one day to buy you this. Come here. Give me a hug.
Oh, sweet. Looked a little overwhelmed there. That was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time.